Hello, in 7.2 we are going to be looking at measuring angles and arcs. So the lesson objectives, I can identify central angles, major arcs, minor arcs, and semicircles and find their measures and also find arc lengths. Alright, so first let's talk about what a central angle is. So a central angle is an angle formed when two radii meet. So an angle formed when two radii meet. So what would that look like? We would name that as an angle. So radii AC and then radius CE meet there. So this angle right here would be a central angle. So we could call that angle ACE. All right, now a minor arc is going to be an arc having a measure less than 180. So an arc having a measure less than 180. So that would be like this arc right here. It's 60 degrees, so it's less than 180, so we can name it by like arc FD. And it's named just with two letters there because you're going just a short distance. Now let's talk about a major arc is an arc having a measure greater than 180. So an arc having measure greater than 180. So that would be something that goes further than halfway around. And so we could start at, say, E, going all the way past D and to F. That would be a major arc. So we're going to name this with 3 points. So we would call it arc EAF, or we could call it arc EDF. And so you're going to go through the middle one. So note that we went through A, and then also we went through D. But you only need 3 points for that. Alright, now a semicircle is an arc having a measure equal to 180. So an arc having measure equal to 180. And you can name this with just 2 points, so like E to D. But also note that this could go this way. So we really want to name it with 3 points. So if we want to say this is EAD, then we know which direction to go. And note that all of these arcs have this little curve over the top. That's the symbol for an arc. Alright, let's look at the right here. So using circle C, we want to find the measure of each arc or angle named. And then we want to write next to each the name of the arc or angle. So what type of angle or arc it is. So let's take a look here quick. We note that this ED is a diameter. So around this direction is half circle. So that has to be 180 degrees. So we're going to say then that arc AD is 180 minus our 45 because AE is 145, so we get this to be 135 degrees. And then same thing on the other side, E to D, E through B and F to D is half circle, so we take 180 minus our 60 to get this to be 120. And then note that each of these insides parts, the central angle, match up with the arc. So I'm just going to label those real quick. And now we can go through and say the measure of angle FCD. So FCD is 60 degrees, and we're going to say that's a central angle. Working our way down, the measure of arc AE we see is 45 degrees, and we say that's a minor arc. Because again, note that that's only marked with 2 letters. And then we have the measure of arc ADF. And so we add our 135 and our 60 to get 195. So that's a major arc. Hang on a second. So working our way down, measure of arc AD, we can see we said that was 135 degrees. So is that a major arc or a minor arc? Only has 2 points and it's less than 180, so it's a minor arc. So working our way down, we have the measure of angle ACD to be again 135 because that's the central angle there. Then we get 195, and that's a central angle again. Then 225, that's a major arc because it's labeled with 3 points and it's greater than 180. And then lastly, again, we have another major arc. So go through and make sure you see where we got all those numbers from. All right, so let's try a few examples. We want to find the measure of angle HDI. So HDI right here, we want to find that measure there. We can note that we have a semicircle here, so that's all 180 degrees. And this is telling us that these 2 arcs are the same, so both of those are 53. So we can call this one x, so 53 plus 53 plus x has to equal 180. So solving for x to get x to be 74 degrees. All right, now let's find the measure of HEI. I think this should be HEF here quick. So HEF, this measure right here. Note we can bring our 127 in here, and that in a circle they add up to 360. So we can call this x and say 127 plus 90 plus x has to equal 360. Solving for x to get 143. Why don't you guys try filling this out on your own without looking at the front page? See if you can do it. So central angle there, the definition would be the angle at the center. Put it in your own words. So angle at center, and that would be angle NEW. The major arc would be an arc greater than 180. And so we could name that, going around this direction, ART. And don't forget the arc symbol above. And then a minor arc would be an arc less than 180 degrees. So it would be like A to R or A to T, so whichever, or A to K. And then lastly, a semicircle. We want to go that direction. So that is an arc equal to 180 degrees. So we can call that arc WAL. So again, don't forget your arc symbols. See if you could do that without your notes. All right, now let's quickly talk about arc length. So the ratio of the length of an arc to the circumference of the circle is equal to the ratio of the degree measure of the arc to 360. So let's say here we have our length L. That's saying that our length of an arc to the circumference, so to the circumference, is equal to the ratio of our central angle, our x, to the degree measure of the arc of to 360. So we get our length over circumference equals our degree x over 360. Now we have some equations for circumference, so let's write this. Solving for L, we would get our angle divided by 360 times our circumference. And note we can substitute circumference with our radius. So here it tells us our radius is r, so we can multiply 2 pi r. Or note again that we also have a diameter, so we can say that the length is also equal to the ratio times pi d. So note these two equations for finding arc length. Alright, so let's try a few examples. Let's find the length of arc ZY here. So the length, let's call that L, of ZY is equal to our central angle, our 75, divided by 360. And then we multiply that by 2 pi r. So multiplying that all out through your calculators, you will get 5.24 inches. Alright, let's find the length of EF. So we have our degree is 120 degrees by our 360. And then our radius is 6, so we get 2 pi r. Multiplying that out, we get 12.57 meters. Alright, so a circle has an arc whose measure is 80 degrees and whose arc length is 276.46 pi inches. We want to know what the diameter of the circle is. So now we're working backwards. We know that the degree measure is 80. So we take our 80 divided by 360. And we multiply it by pi d because we're looking for our diameter. And then we set that equal to the length of our arc, which is 276.46 pi. So we can divide by pi to cancel those out. And then be careful here. Put all of this in parentheses. And so we're going to divide by all of that. So we get d to be 276.46 divided by. So when you're putting it in your calculators, careful to put it in all of this in the denominator. So we get our d to equal 12.44 inches. Alright, so we want to find the measure of a central angle if the arc of it, if its length is, let's have it be at 33.98 pi, and the radius is 18. Alright, so we're going to set this up as x. So we're looking for our angle measure, x, divided by 360. And then we have 2 pi r. And that's going to equal 33.98 pi. So we're looking for our degree measure. So we take 2 pi r. Let's divide by 2 pi. So we cancel our pi's out, and we get x divided by 360 r equals 33.98 divided by 2. So we'd get 16.99. And then note that we want to divide by this whole quantity. So r is going to equal, Alright, hang on a second. We forgot to plug in our 18 for our r. So we're going to get x over 360 equals 2 pi 18. And then that's going to equal 33.98 pi. So dividing by 2 pi 18 on both sides, it's going to cancel it on the left. So we're going to take 33.98 divided by 2 pi times 18. Make sure that all of that is in the denominator, so put all of this in parentheses if you're typing it in. So you get x over 360 equals 0.3. So now we're going to multiply by 360 on both sides. Let's cancel it on our left. So we get x to be 108.16 degrees. Thank you for listening. Good luck on your homework.